Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is a fairly exciting video to post for me because it is the finale of my first Baby Pan That palette. I've been working on an Estee Lauder quad for a little over a year. I was originally working with several other people on this project and we named the project hashtag Baby Pan That Palette. Some of those people have dropped off, some of those people have finished their palettes already, and I've just kept going. There were times where I really focused very little on it from month to month, and then there were other times, particularly recent, where I have just been working so hard to finish this quad, and I finally did. So here it is right here. And originally there was a matte creamy off-white shade right here. There was kind of a rosy pinky mauve shade right here. There was a very kind of neutral chocolatey brown shade right here, and there was a more peachy toned warm light shade right here. They were all matte, no shimmer, and I don't know exactly how old this quad was. This was a hand-me-down from my friend who either got it as a gift, she probably got it as a gift with purchase, but she wasn't using it. She passed it along to me and I started working on it. When she gave it to me, there were some good dips in a few of the products, and it didn't take long to hit pan in the cream shade. The very next day I hit pan on the mauve shade, and I was able to work through these two shades fairly quickly. And then these two hung on much longer, particularly the matte brown shade. I wore it for most of the time in my brows as a brow powder, but in the end, I was just putting it everywhere. I was ready for it to be gone, and it finally is. I originally thought that I would keep this empty palette and use it to press shattered shades in or to move other shades into here and to keep this going as a quad. But in the end, the clasp of this became unbelievably annoying. So for example, right now I am having the hardest time getting it open. That might be a little dramatic, but it wasn't very easy to open. And so a lot of times I would just not even close it and just leave it on my bathroom counter like this. But then I was like, that's kind of disgusting. It's in the bathroom and like it's open and exposed to germs and whatever. So I don't know. It also is not in the greatest condition. It's kind of beat up. I mean, it could probably be cleaned up and whatever. I don't know. I just decided that I didn't want to look at it anymore and that I'd rather just let it go. So I have finished this. It is empty. There is zero product left in it, and I'm moving it out of my stash, which means it is time to decide on what my next Baby Pan That palette is going to be. This is going to be an ongoing project because I have a ton of small palettes, duos, trios, quads, quints. I would say my criteria for a Baby Pan That palette is anywhere between a 2-pan palette and a 5-pan palette. I personally feel like once you get into a 6-pan palette, you are just a palette, not a baby palette any longer. So, of course, I have an absolute ton of 2, 3, 4, and 5-pan palettes, and they get ignored easily. I don't know why, but I am likely to throw single shadows into projects, and I'm likely to throw palettes into projects, but I'm not very likely to throw these small palettes into projects. It just, I don't know, they just get ignored. And when you're project panning, you're already just zeroing in on one. I don't know, I would just love to get some of these out of my collection. I don't grab for them. They're all great. There's nothing wrong with any of them, but I would love to use them up and move them out. And with them being so small, I do feel like that's an achievable goal, even if it takes me longer because I'm always working on something else as well. So, out of all of my small palettes, my baby palettes, I have pulled 9 different palettes, and I'm gonna show them to you. And maybe as I'm showing them to you, I can narrow it down, or maybe I'll choose a couple and we could do a vote. I don't know, how would you guys feel about doing a vote and choosing my next Baby Pan That palette for me? Is that fun? I don't know. Let's start with the duos. This is the tiniest itty bitty duo. It is just that big, and it is from Lancome, and it is the Color Focus Exceptional Wear Eye Color, and there's two shades. One is called Optic, one is called Drama. I am not 100% sure which one is Optic and which one is Drama, but it's basically a beautiful white, like satin finish white, and then a gorgeous purple. They're both pretty subtle. These were also handed down to me, and I don't know if I've ever used them on my eyes, but I think we all know I'm all about purple these days. So I was very drawn to this duo, and there's next to no product in here. 0.03 ounces total. Total 0.03, which means it's 0.015 per shadow, which is nothing. I actually think I could finish this off and move on to any one of these other products really quickly, which would feel great. So this is definitely a contender because I actually think I could work my way through this quick and move on to another one before I knew it. So loving the idea of this. This next duo is from Bare Minerals. It is the 15 minutes, and there's two shadows. Obviously, one is page 6 and one is most requested. A while back, Bare Minerals duos and quads went on sale at Ulta for half off, and I lost my mind and bought them all. Around the same time, Emily Noel 83 was recommending these shadows in a lot of her videos. She was a big fan of the formula and the colors, and this duo is like my cup of tea. A nice kind of reddish burgundy and a pink are just colors I love every day of the year. Like certain colors I'm more drawn to in the spring or the summer or the fall or the winter, but these colors are favorites 12 months out of the year. And there are 0.09 ounces between the two, which means it's 0.045 ounces for each shadow. So it's 3 times more product in this duo than in the Lancome duo. But I just think these two shadows are beautiful. I think they can basically create an eye look on their own, which is fun, or they would mix well with a lot of the other shades that I have in different palettes or different projects that I'm working on. So I would love to pan this as well. So that is the number 2 choice that I am debating for my next baby pan that palette. Although this isn't totally brand new, I would say that I've probably only used it once or twice ever. Okay, let's move on to trios. I'm gonna blame a couple of these on Emily Noel 83. I should probably unsubscribe to Emily Noel 83 if I want to go on a low buy, but I don't want to go on a low buy apparently, and there's no way I'm ever gonna unsubscribe to Emily Noel 83, so don't even suggest it. But this Almay Wake Up in the shade Exhilarate was a product that she had mentioned in an old video, and by the time I watched her old video, the product had been discontinued from drugstore shelves. So I ended up buying it off of eBay, which is crazy. Don't buy makeup off of eBay, people. I don't know. It's probably not a good idea, but I used to do it all the time. So this trio actually comes with, right here is a cream primer that is very bright and shimmery. It doesn't leave a ton of color on your eyelid, but it has a little bit of shimmer to it, and it's a primer. So you can put it anywhere that you are gonna apply this lighter shimmery shade right here. And then there's this gorgeous kind of silvery taupey shade and a deep purple. She loved this trio, and I have used this a few times, and I think it's a great trio. And the reason I am considering this for Baby Pan That palette is because of the primer that's in here. I have no idea how long this primer will last before it just starts cracking up and drying out, but it is technically still good, so I should probably use it up sooner rather than later. As far as the powder product, there is 0.12 ounces total, which means, well, it's a little tricky, but this big one is 0.06. And these two smaller shadows are probably both 0.03. So it's a decent amount of product in here. But like I said, What concerns me is the cream base, and I want to use it up before it goes bad. All right, up next is a freebie, probably from an Ipsy bag, and it is this trio from BH Cosmetics from the California collection. And these are the 3 eyeshadows right here. These shadows are beautiful colors, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I just haven't been drawn to this trio. And I think it's gonna take a project to get me to work on them. They're all beautiful. There's nothing wrong with a nice shimmery brown or a deep gold or a purple. I love them all, but I think part of the reason why I haven't reached for this more often is that I don't consider this palette to be able to stand alone. I would have to bring in other shadows, other palettes, other something to make any one of these 3 a complete eye look, at least for me, for most days. So it's kind of like, I don't want to grab it. I don't want to bother. So I don't reach for it. But there is not much product in here too. I don't have an amount listed on the packaging because it was probably on the outer packaging and I tossed that. But these little pans are really small, and I don't think it would take me that long to get through these, at least I don't think. So I definitely would not miss this once it's gone, but I would like to work on these shadows and pan them. So I threw it in here because I think it would be nice to use them up and get them out of here. And then finally is a trio that I bought because of Emily Noel 83, and I think the colors in here are gorgeous, but I never ever reach for this. So I would kind of like to force myself to have an excuse to use this and enjoy it and work on it by putting it in a project. And that is this Total Intensity trio. The shade is Fantasia, and it's the Bold Trio eyeshadow. I remember when she reviewed this, I immediately knew I had to have it, and I ran out and bought it. It's got some duochrome goodness going on right there. I do love me some duochrome. And then it's just got a shimmery peachy pink over here and then a nice shimmery brown. So I really like these kind of shades, and I think it would be nice to work on these. If not in this Baby Pan That palette, then in another project soon. So let's move on to quads. First up is another sample that has the tiniest itty bitty pans ever, and this is from Clinique, and this is a quad in the shades Teddy Bear, and these are them. They're just neutral, matte, warm shades ranging from a creamy white to a brown and a couple of mid-tone and light browns in between. This one's almost like a ochre, or kind of every single one of them has fallen. This is kind of like an ochre or like a really sandy shade. This one's more of a really warm pinky brown, and then this is a deeper kind of medium brown. And there are only 0.04 ounces in this product in total, which means each one of these shadows is 0.01 ounces. I believe that is the smallest amount of shadow I have in a single pan, and I would love to just knock this out, move it out, use it up, enjoy it, and get it out. All right, next up I have another Lancome quad. The pans are the same size as the pans in the Duo. This one is called Sensational Effects Eyeshadow. There is Cream Luster, Nutmeg, Mochaccino, and Backstage Pass. This is another hand-me-down. Here it is right here. These shades are definitely the kind of shades I gravitate towards. This is like my version of a neutral palette, something that leans a little bit pink or mauve versus like a warm brown or a cool brown. Like pinky mauve is, I just love it. I love those shades. So it would be really great to get this little quad out. According to the packaging, each one of these pans is 0.02 ounces. So again, that's on the really small size. So if I could work through this fairly quickly, I could move out an entire quad and keep working on something else. The final quad that I have pulled, I pulled because it is my most expensive quad. I had a little conversation, a little interaction with my friend Emily from Emily Concealer and Coffee. She's a real sweetie. And I kept talking about the size of the pans and how small they are and how fast I could go through them. And she's like, You should be panning your most expensive one. Who cares about the size? Pan the one you spent the most on. That's the one you should focus on. And I was like, you know, that's a really good point, Emily. I did spend a lot of money on one of these quads, and maybe that should be the one I work on, regardless of the fact that it probably has some of the largest pan sizes out of anything I am showing you today. And that is my Dose of Colors Desi Katie collaboration. And it's so funny that they already have a new collaboration out, and I've never used this collaboration even once on my eyes. And this is a perfect example of the type of thing that I buy because it's beautiful and the colors are nice and it's just so pleasing to the eye, and I am filled with the excitement of what I could possibly do with the eyeshadows inside. And then I put it away and just keep piling all my oldest shadows on my eyes because I want to use those up. But really, maybe what I need to do is put this one in my Baby Panette palette to give myself the opportunity to just love the heck out of this thing. Here, every single one of these has that in it. All right, this has a mirror. Okay, I can bend it back a little. All right, if you never saw this, here is the quad. They're all very foiled, very glittery, very shimmery. These are the kind of eyeshadows that I just apply with my fingers. Like, I don't even try to use a brush. I don't try to fuss around. I just go right in with my finger and pat it on my eyelid and wear them. At least that's what I think I will do with them. I haven't actually worn these yet. This is a brand new palette that has never been touched or even swatched, I don't think. But I think these shadows are beautiful, and I think I should enjoy them sooner rather than later, because who knows if they'll last as long as I'd like them to. There are 0.06 ounces of eyeshadow in each pan. So total, this is 0.24 ounces of product. That is the most that we have seen so far. Okay, I'm going to show you guys one quint or 5-pan palette. And I've been thinking about this little palette a lot lately, and I'm not sure why I keep coming back to it, but I've had it for a few years. It's another palette that I have never once used ever. Ever, even once. I swatched it to make sure it wasn't one of the bad ones. And then I stuck it in a drawer and told myself that I would get to it someday, and I've never gotten to it. And what I'm talking about is the Becca and Jaclyn Hill collaboration. Do you guys remember this gorgeous, amazing palette? At the same time, they released a face palette with 2 highlighters and I believe 3 blushes, I think. Anyways, I bought that too. I've never used that either. And this little palette got a lot of heat, and I would say this was probably Jaclyn Hill's first scandal. She's had a lot now. She's had quite a few, but this was her first makeup scandal, and people apparently got bad batches or something. I don't know. There was questions about what factory the products were made at, and you know, quality control, all sorts of like drama came about this palette. And I don't know if it was the drama that kind of did it or what, but I never actually put it on my eyes. Like, I think there's a part of me that was like afraid that I wouldn't like it. And so I didn't want to try it, because if I don't like it, I would feel so sad. I don't know, some kind of weird like way of thinking. And so I never ever used it even once. If you were to come up to me and say, Paula, I am a huge makeup company with unlimited resources, and I would like you to make a quint, it would probably look exactly like this. Like, these are my everyday kind of colors. And granted, I do play with color and I do like variety, and I very rarely do the same look, you know, more than a couple days in a row. If you were to say, create your ideal go-to palette in 5 shades, it would have a vanilla shimmer, a beautiful shimmery like champagne or gold, a really like pinky brown, a neutral brown, and a deep brown. Like, you can't go wrong with these shades, especially if you are my skin tone. Like, these are just perfection. So yeah, I would like to use this up. I'm not as emotionally attached to the packaging as I once was. I still like it. And maybe since I am getting rid of the old quad, this quad that I just finished panning, since I'm getting rid of this, maybe if I pan this, I would keep this packaging because the clasp is perfection. I don't feel like I'm gonna break a nail every time I open or close it. And the pan size is bigger than the other one. And it's gorgeous, stunning. So maybe I would keep the packaging if I was to completely pan this and repress some other shadows in here. In fact, I know I would do that. So yeah, there is no reason why I should be afraid to pan, use up, and enjoy this eyeshadow palette, because I've had it for a few years now, and you know, it's time. It's time to use it and enjoy it. So those are the options that I'm mulling over. I know this is still a lot of options. Like, this is 9 different palettes. That's a lot, but I seriously narrowed it down from what I actually have to this. And now I'm just kind of frozen on where to go. Honestly, if you said I will pay you $10 right now to choose a palette to pan, I would go with this one. This simple duo from Lancome. It's just so tiny. Like, in a lot of ways, this makes the most sense to me because I can use it up, knock it out, and move on to one of these other options. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know. But I could be easily persuaded. Which one do you think is the best one for me to do for Baby Pan That palette next? Lancome, Bare Minerals, Total Intensity, BH Cosmetics, Almay, the Lancome Quad, the Clinique Quad, the Dose of Colors Quad, the Becca Jaclyn Hill Quint. Help me out, guys, in deciding which one I should work on next. I'm going to tally up your votes and see if you guys think I should just knock out that little Lancome duo, or if there's something else I should pan instead. I love it when you guys participate in these little voting polls. It's so much fun to see what you guys are thinking. A lot of times your input brings me clarity that I did not have prior to your comments. So let me know what you think down below. I will take a look at everybody's comments and do a little tally, and I will do another video letting you know the results, and that will be the introduction to my Baby Pan That palette. This is an ongoing project. There is no start date or end date. It just keeps going and going with monthly updates. When I finish one baby palette, it is time to start a new one. So finishing my first Baby Pan That palette, and actually my first palette altogether, has been super exciting, and all of your support and encouragement both on Facebook and on Instagram has been so amazing. Within 24 hours of me posting the empty palette on Instagram, my heart was just overflowing with the love and support from you guys. I could not believe how many people bothered to leave a comment saying, congratulations, woohoo, great job, that's so awesome, happy for you, you've worked so hard, whatever. It didn't matter. I just was so touched by everybody's very kind comments. You guys are the best. You guys are the absolute best, and I'm just so lucky to have your support and encouragement, especially because I am a slow panner. It does take me what feels like a lot longer than other panners, and I do kind of get frustrated every now and then. But when I see stuff like that, it's like, okay, let's choose another one. Let's do this, because I know you guys have my back, and I love that. So thank you all so much. Let me know which palette you think I should pan next. I will do a video within the next couple weeks and let you know what the decision was, and we'll start charting progress every month from there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.